In the heart of the city, amidst the endless sea of faces, Leo was just another person trying to make a living. He ran a small diner, a cozy spot filled with the aroma of coffee and kindness. Every day, he saw people from all walks of life, but one man stood out. An old, frail man, huddled in a corner of the street, his clothes tattered, his eyes filled with a deep, silent sorrow. Leo's heart went out to him. He started small, bringing him a warm meal and a cup of coffee each day. The man rarely spoke, but his grateful eyes said more than words ever could. Days turned into weeks, and Leo's simple act of kindness became a routine. He learned the man's name was Thomas. He noticed Thomas had a persistent, hacking cough that seemed to get worse with each passing day. The city's winter chill was setting in, and Leo knew Thomas wouldn't survive long on the streets. One evening, as a cold rain began to fall, Leo made a decision. He walked over to Thomas and said, "Come on, you're staying with me tonight. You can't be out here in this weather." Thomas, too weak to protest, simply nodded and let Leo help him up. Leo took Thomas back to his small apartment above the diner. He ran a warm bath for him and gave him a set of clean clothes. As Thomas emerged from the bathroom, looking a little more like himself, Leo couldn't help but feel a strange sense of familiarity. There was something about the way he held himself, a flicker in his eyes, that stirred a distant memory within Leo. He brushed it off, thinking it was just his imagination. He set up a makeshift bed on the couch and told Thomas to get some rest. The next morning, Leo insisted Thomas see a doctor. He closed his diner for the day, a financial hit he couldn't really afford, and took Thomas to a local clinic. The diagnosis was pneumonia, and it was severe. The doctor said Thomas needed immediate hospitalization and care. Leo didn't hesitate. He used his modest savings to admit Thomas, telling the hospital staff he was a distant relative. He sat by Thomas's bedside for hours, watching him sleep, feeling an unexplainable pull, a connection he couldn't quite name. While Thomas was recovering, Leo went back to the street corner where he'd found him. He gathered the few meager belongings Thomas had left behind in a soggy cardboard box. Back in his apartment, he sorted through them, hoping to find a clue about his family, someone he could contact. There wasn't much: a worn-out blanket, a few trinkets, and a small, tattered leather wallet. Leo opened the wallet carefully. Inside, there was no ID, no money, just a single, faded photograph. His heart stopped. The photograph showed two young boys, grinning from ear to ear, with their arms around each other. One of the boys was unmistakably a younger version of himself. And the other boy was Thomas. The memories came flooding back in a torrent, memories he had buried deep for over 20 years. A family trip to the lake. A terrible argument. His older brother, Thomas, running away from home after a fight with their father. They had never seen him again. His parents had searched for years, their hope slowly fading until it was replaced by a quiet, gnawing grief. Leo stared at the photo, his hands trembling. The homeless man he had been caring for, the stranger he had taken in from the cold, was his brother. His long-lost brother, Thomas. He rushed back to the hospital, the photograph clutched in his hand. He found Thomas awake, sitting up in bed, looking much better. Leo walked over to him, his eyes filled with tears. He couldn't speak. He simply held out the photograph. Thomas looked at the picture, and his expression changed. Recognition dawned in his weary eyes, followed by a wave of shock, and then shame. "Leo," he whispered, his voice raspy, "is that really you?" Leo could only nod, tears streaming down his face. I thought you'd all forgotten me," Thomas choked out. "I was too ashamed to ever come back. I made so many mistakes." "It doesn't matter," Leo said, his voice thick with emotion as he pulled his brother into a hug. "None of that matters. You're home now, Thomas. You're home." For years, Leo had carried a void in his heart, a space that was meant for his brother. He'd always wondered what had become of him, if he was safe, if he was happy. He never imagined he would find him like this, broken and alone, a stranger on the street. But destiny, in its mysterious way, had brought them back together. Thomas's recovery was slow, but with Leo by his side, he got stronger every day. He told Leo about his life on the streets, the hardships, the loneliness, and the regret that had been his constant companion. Leo listened without judgment, offering only love and support. He called their aging parents, who were overjoyed and overcome with emotion. Their family, once fractured by anger and distance, was finally whole again. The diner, once just a business for Leo, became a family affair. Thomas, once he had fully recovered, started helping out, his spirit slowly healing along with his body. The quiet, sorrowful man was gone, replaced by someone with a gentle smile and a renewed sense of purpose. The regulars at the diner noticed the change, the quiet joy that now filled the small space. They didn't know the whole story, but they could see the powerful bond between the two brothers. This story is a powerful reminder that life works in incredible ways. A simple act of kindness, of seeing the humanity in a stranger, opened the door to a miracle. It reunited a family and healed decades-old wounds. It shows us that compassion is a bridge, not just between strangers, but sometimes back to the ones we thought we had lost forever. It reminds us to never give up hope, and to always, always lead with kindness. You never know whose life you might change, or how they might change yours. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that celebrates the best of humanity.